is disclosed and made a part of the record before the final action on the matter. City council members may read a written communication from any person. A written communication that relates to a quasi-judicial action pending before the council shall not be presumed prejudicial to the action. Such written communication shall be made a part of the record before final action on the matter. Council members may conduct investigations and site visits and may receive expert opinions regarding quasi-judicial action pending before the council. Such activity shall not be presumed prejudicial to the action if the existence of the investigation, site visit, or expert opinion is made a part of the record before final action on the matter. And so that we keep the record straight, I would ask that as to item K, which is first reading of ordinance 1532, has any of the council members had any ex parte communications regarding that particular ordinance?
That several phone calls about it.
I did too.
We'll just roll call it then.
Yeah, general substance of the,
Public concerns from constituents. I've had several phone calls over the age.
I've had one call concerned
nature.
about the people who live in the area. Is that word?
Ms. Robinson?
Calls and emails from concerned citizens.
Same here.
I've not.
All right, with that then, Mr. President, you can open up the public hearing.
All right, we'll open up the public hearing, and I guess it'd be prudent for, I'll just call a list of these names, and then you guys can line up over here at this microphone this time, yes sir, and we'll do the swearing in procedure in just a second.
Maybe, if it's okay with Mr. Reeves, he's here representing the applicant. If my suggestion would be if he's okay with it to go first and outline their position, and that would give some background to the citizens.
I have no problem with that. I just want to make sure we get them all sworn in at the same time that way.
You okay with that?
Save a little bit of time.
Absolutely. Okay.
So, Mr. Chandler, Mr. Kish, did Ms. Rodriguez show up?
Ms. Rodriguez, she's here, she had to leave, go up to St. Francis Xavier for, they've got a thing going on tonight, may I approach?
Well, let's hang on.
One second.
You're not going to speak first, so
Right,
hang tight.
we've got to get everybody sworn in as well, so it's just a one order. So Mr. Chandler, Mr. Kish, Mr. Reeves, Ms. Nita Williams, are you going to speak on this?
No, you tabled it.
Oh, that's right. Mr. Payne, Mr. Klepper, and Mr. Royce. If y'all stand.
Y'all raise your right hand, the clerk will administer the oath.
Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Record signifies that everyone I observed raising their hand answered in the affirmative. And again, with Mr. Reed's permission, if he wants to go forward and outline the project, I think that'd be what's from here.
You'll have to attend that microphone over there. Yes. And again, you'll have 3 minutes to outline the project as well as any other information you want. You got that?
Well, thank you very much for having me. My name is George T. Reeves. I'm an attorney practicing here in the Third Circuit, representing Live Oak Investments that owns a piece of property about 30 acres south of the Armory right there. I think everybody's familiar with it. The bulk of the property is located within the city limits. 13.74 acres are located outside of the city limits in the county. Now, the client wants to try to develop this property. Where we're here tonight, though, is not an application for a development permit. All we're talking about tonight is whether or not the city is willing to annex that 13.74 acres. The reason we've asked for the annexation is the client, of course, is allowed to try to develop the property if the client meets the regulations of the land development regulations, all that kind of stuff. The way it is now, we have to file an application with the city for the part in the city, and an application in the county for the part in the county. That's a cumbersome process. It also may not result in what everybody wants. Certainly, the county is free to approve things how they would like to on their piece. The city's free to approve things how they would like on their piece. So what we would like to do is we'd like to annex in that 13.74 acres, and then we'd file one application with the city for the whole piece of property, and then you all would decide whether or not you feel that the proposed development meets your land development regulations and comp plan and all of that. But we're not there today. All we're here today about is the annexation. The annexation, as I said, we think it's a very good idea because it brings everything before the city at one time. You all and your staff get to review all of it. You can see all of it, how it all, is intended to be. Now, and I want to make a big point. This isn't the development application, but I do want to address a couple of things. One of the things that I've heard is people are concerned about the Live Local Act. And lots of local governments are concerned about the Live Local Act in the state of Florida, because what that does is the Live Local Act constrains local governments in certain land use designations for whether or not they can turn down assisted rent-controlled housing and low-cost housing, all that kind of stuff. But we are not interested in doing that, and we're willing to put that in writing. What we would intend to do is on the application for development, we would make that contingent on us putting a restrictive covenant on the property that we won't invoke the rights under the Live Local Act. Because we don't want people thinking this is a subterfuge and we're trying to get our nose under the tent, and then now all of a sudden we're going to try to ask for something else. We're not trying to do that. So again, all we're here today about is getting that, trying to get the annexation. Even without the annexation, the property could be developed, but it's a much more cumbersome process, and the city loses some control. So we think it's a better thing to do. And at the end of the day, let's say you annex, and then the project doesn't go forward. Well, now you've got one more 13.74 acre piece of property that's in the city paying city tax.
All right, so that's the end of your time. Do we have any questions for Mr. Reeves? Anything you, counsel?
I do remember this situation. What are you trying to present differently from a year ago when we met at the Coliseum out there and all this was brought up about the intent of what they were going to put up, hotels and all of that, and how would that impact our infrastructure, how would it impact our traffic out there in that location? But what do you have different than was presented last time? And I think we might have denied that. In fact, I don't think we've got that far.
Yes, sir.
So what are you trying to present now?
So we're not presenting anything the same or different now, because again, all this is the annexation part of it.
Mm-hmm.
When we actually go to present the request for the permits to develop the property, there are going to be some substantial changes. Those changes, I believe, eliminate the hotel part of it. They do other things. Also, at that time, we will have the studies dealing with traffic and dealing with drainage and what we propose to do to address those issues. We know those are issues, and and your staff's going to have to review all of that and decide if we can properly address those. So technically, I'm not trying to be cute here. We're not proposing the same or different right now. This is just about the annexation, but we do intend it to be different when we come back and present the application for the whole development. We really do want to be able to present that at one time to the city and let you all make the final decision, as opposed to doing it piecemeal.
Now, the bulk of the properties inside the city?
So it's about 30 acres total.
Right.
And the survey showed 13.74 acres outside of the city.
Well, City County?
Yes, sir. And the property that's on the road there is the part in the city, and then you kind of come back to the south and then over to the side, and that's the part that's outside of the county.
And that's important, what Mr. Reeves is saying is not, you're not getting the cart before the horse tonight.
Right.
The crux of the decision is, do we want to receive 13.74 acres into the city and have control over what is done on that in the future versus having the county make the decision as to the uses proposed for the 13.7 acres.
Any further questions from the three? All right, thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, we'll go with, as you signed up, Mr. Chandler.
Yes, sir. Now, we got some points that we wanted to make. He's very right.
Take those and pass them over you.
The total, is 30 acres, and 13.7 of it,
Would you go ahead and
is outside the
introduce
city
yourself for the
limits.
record? You can state your name for the record.
David Chandler.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay. If you'll turn to page, I have it as page 223 in your packet, which gives you the color breakdown. Looks like this. And you'll notice that the 13.74 acres has a mean above sea level of 86.2. 90% of the 13.74 acres is lower, 10 feet lower than Terra Trace. And you know what happens with Terra Trace whenever we get a Debbie or a Helene or any of those. We're still working through those issues at Terra Trace. But the water has got to go somewhere, which means that you're going to be annexing a swamp. Now, what they use that for, I don't know. But the whole concept is that, according to Gale Planning and Zoning, the carryover documents from 2025 are still in existence. Yes, there is acreage inside the city, but they cannot develop the entire thing without this 13.74 acres if this is critical to what they want to do. And I submit to you that the annexation, if it's not defeated, if we don't take care of that tonight, and this is allowed to continue, the annexation creates a danger for the safety of all residents, and it also will include the Live Local Act. Sorry, he can go, oh, we didn't mean to. That's a mandate by the state of Florida. You guys have been through that. He can't say we don't want to do it because it's a mandate, and it essentially will bypass part of the planning and zoning. Now, regardless of his intentions, which I'm sure are very good, and I'm sure they're very nice people, but he doesn't have that discretionary whether he wants to put it in writing or not. Look on page 225, the colored packet that you have there. Okay, you've got a floodplain there of 86.2. The annexation will explode vehicular traffic along the street from the HCA emergency room, creating restricted emergency ambulance access. The National Guard Armory, Coliseum event traffic, and vehicles. Now, if you go to that area on a Friday afternoon, traffic is going to be backed up from the roundabout all the way out to Westwood Baptist and beyond. And from the other direction, right now, it's going to be backed up all the way down, to First Federal, especially whenever school gets
Yeah,
out.
bad man.
This is going to exacerbate
Your
that.
3 minutes is up, so I'm sorry. Just to be fair, does anybody have any questions for Mr. Chandler? All right, we have your information. Okay, thank you very much. All right, Mr. Kish?
Hey, my name's Gene Kish, 895 Coliseum Avenue. Trying to follow what the city attorney said to the extent. Most of my comments are, we have a congestion problem right now. We have a huge congestion problem. Once Dimitri was allowed to have the access road to go to the schools to First Federal, we're on Coliseum Avenue. We have a raceway out there every morning. It is beyond congestion. This development will triple that congestion. We can't handle it now. We have no, getting off the subject, we have no enforcement of speeding or anything on our road in the mornings now. I can imagine what would happen if some development like this were to take place. So obviously I would strongly encourage you to vote no to the annexation.
Thank you, Mr. Kish.
Thank you.
Moving on to Mr. Payne.
My name is William Payne, Mr. Gentleman, Mayor, and distinguished members of the City Council. I live at the intersection of Coliseum and Sandra, and I have been talking to all my neighbors, and they all feel the same way that I do. I'm opposed to the annexation because it is a penultimate move to something else, and not looking at them as being linked is a mistake. And so I'm looking beyond the annexation, and I'm looking to where they're going. I am for development. I think Live Oak needs to develop. Our community's growing. We need good affordable housing, like the stuff behind Publix and other places. There's nothing wrong with good development. The question is this the right development for this community? Is it going to accent the community? Is it going to be in continuity with the community? Is it going to be sustainable in my neighborhood? We do have a speedway problem. We do have a lot of other types of issues related to that. And, you know, if they proposed a different type of development than they did at the meeting last year at the Coliseum, it might be a different issue. But the kind of the direction they say they're going, I'm opposed to this, and so are my neighbors. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Klepper?
Yes, sir, Mr. Slipper. Well, I'm with all these guys. It's funny, the people that don't get paid to come to this bank, they're opposed to it. So, you're not gonna find, and it's interesting, this first time I've ever heard all those rules to y'all, read, where you can't worry about my feelings. Well, facts, you know, okay, so these gentlemen have talked about the, increased, you know, traffic, that's a given. So if these folks wanna come in and congest our roads, there's other locations within this, city or county where they could build a facility like that and not negatively affect. So,
One second, can you stop this time for just a second? I just want to clarify, those, what he was discussing earlier don't actually qualify specifically to K, it's the L through, we can take into consideration, but the.
well, he said K,
He
he
said,
included K.
actually, I think if you, you said, L through.
This is more of a policy decision by the city council. Someone is asking to become part of the city, and the city can decide whether they want to have that piece of property as part of the city. But again, getting the cart before the horse, traffic, all of those things are not part of the annexation. The statute requires that you meet certain requirements. It's compact, no enclave, signed by the owner, and once those are met, and I believe the information I've reviewed from staff indicates that those are met, the decision then becomes, only tonight, is does the city want to include and bring into its fold the 13th?
I just want to make sure we've got that on record clarified with this.
I appreciate that. So my feelings do matter. And what he's saying and the lawyer's saying, they're pretty good at it. All the both lawyers, and all the both get paid. Ain't this and they use some fancy terms to express what I'm fixing to express. You get you people with mouse problems or rat problems. If that varmint gets its head in, the other fat body gonna squeeze right in. So that's what's happening. Y'all know that. Every one of y'all know that. Y'all know if that 13 acres is annexed in, they're gonna develop it, they're gonna congest. So I recommend conditions made that they first, we got a water problem, that's a swamp. Make them put a deep well in there, a 1 foot to 2 foot well with a wiping drain head at the vent that it won't clog. Take all that water in and do a traffic study now. And after they develop, make them neutralize the effects of their development. So whatever that cost would be, they would have to agree to and put those conditions on there. And he referred to, one gentleman referred to Terra Trace. It was over 5 to 6 foot deep in there, you know. So if it's worse than that, that'd be a good opportunity Mr. Sessions would like that, that'd be one more well we won't have to pay for. Please put those conditions in there. If you didn't understand what I was saying, please ask me later.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. We have one more signed up, Mr. Royce.
My name's Phil Royce, to the council. I'm one of those victims of that flooding that we had a while back. I'm on 133rd and 136 there. And if you have any more dense impact in that area, we're going to have a lot more flooding in that area. So the water in my 5 acres was up to here, and it flooded out my workshop and the whole bit. Just that one little segment over there that he's talking about, that is a low for some of that flood water. We lost 133rd. They had to repave that whole section, if you recall that. I'm opposed to them coming in there with a high density. I know by statute they're allowed, but I'm opposed to the high density. It's going to seriously impact us as that community there. So that's all I have to say. Is I appreciate you guys reviewing this, and hopefully a good decision will come out of this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, that's it for close the public comment section at this time.
Anyone else from the public?
Yeah, the did
Since
not
it is
sign
a
up.
public hearing?
Yes. Yes, sir. You don't need to be. Have you already spoken?
Well, it's a public hearing, so.
You can be sworn in, I guess.
Were you previously sworn when we swore the whole group?
If you want to raise your right hand again, she's going to swear you.
Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Just a real quick
Say
point.
your name one more time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Joseph Carroll, 904 Pine Avenue. Just a real quick point of emphasis on this. In my personal opinion, that's a lawyer trick that he pulled on you. If you don't annex now and everything, the city will lose the tax money, etc. That's a cheap lawyer trick in my opinion and everything. He's trying to